The S&P 500, the Nasdaq 100, that's what we're breaking down today. Yesterday, I told you about some stocks. We had to talk about the Netflix, Microsoft, Meta, Apple. The list goes on, right? We gave you the juice. But now we got to discuss where we're at and ultimately where we're going. I'm going to give you a little bit of a breakdown of how I'm attacking this market as well. And then I was also giving you the breakdown of futures so you understand. Let's get to it. So the first thing I want to talk about is one. We look here at Nasdaq. We had the target of basically 14.85, 14.8 flat. You came into that low. Also, too, if you're not following on Twitter, I recommend you do so. I had all these levels marked out here for you, all the updates, all the charts, everything that we're watching. It's all been here as well. So we look, you're breaking down as we speak. Now, I typically don't like to go over SPY and QQQ, but I will show you a little bit of something here. I posted this on Twitter. Again, free juice as always. Literally at 10:15 right there, absolutely free. Clear target level I'm watching. Well, what happened into the day? Boom, double shot to the head, absolute kill shot right on the money. Why? Your previous low right there on June 26th, also your previous high as well. Support and resistance, supply and demand, the easiest trading strategy in the book as far as understanding what works. Just giving you a win percentage. It works time and time again. Recommend following and subscribing. Speaking of, consider doing that. Liking and subscribing. It helps out the channel tremendously. But also, every single day, as you can see, I'm here giving you the juice. I trade the upside. I trade the downside. Am I biased? The only thing that I'm biased to is absolutely printing and making money every single day on this market. Up, down, sideways, I don't care. Perma Make Money Wilson. That's the new name. Also, if you're interested in Discord, the link is down below. I go over all of our trades that we're looking throughout the day, and then as well as my partner Jay giving his trades as well, giving you a little bit of a little taste of what we were doing today, what was happening, right? What trades were we looking at? We had obviously Netflix, absolute money printer, Nvidia, we had Tesla, we had all of them, all squared out for you. I'll give you a little bit of the gains and losses. Not my gains, not my losses, the people, because that's who we care about. Look at these people. They're just absolute, hey, look. But I'm going to tell you right now, don't join if you're looking just for signals. Join if you want to understand how to trade and ultimately get on your own. That's the goal. That's the strategy. Let's get back to it. So where are we at? I'm going to tell you right now, end of the day, big support. Big support. So we need to be able to identify that. But what I will say is we are getting to some dangerous territory because I go into Nasdaq and I know QQQ, Nasdaq, there is a difference. And I try to tell everyone that all the time. If we break below, this is my voice of concern. I'm trying to be the voice of reason for everyone. I told you for the past few weeks, stop trading shop, trade the confirmation. Well, we got confirmation for some downside here, and it's not pretty. I'm going to give you a few levels to be watching. Number one, you're coming into it around 14.7 flat, and then after that, it's around 14.3, 14.25 on Nasdaq. This area right here will be a little bit tough to get through, basically 14.6 down to 14.25. So you're going to see a little bit of choppy, some spots that will emerge through that area. But what I'm going to tell you right now is ultimately the big level will be 14.25. That will be the money-making mode, money-making area. A big area to be watching too is watching how Qs react to this, right? Just like we were anticipating the drop to this area, now you're looking for a breakthrough, a retest, and then the reaction. How do we react from there? If we react and start pushing down from 358, in my opinion, it's basically an easy money sniper for Nasdaq to come into 14.25. Don't shoot the messenger. Hey, they said, Tyler, you only trade the upside. I said, hey, look at me now, buddy. So again, you don't have to even be in Discord. That's why I always say it's all the juice. It's all on Twitter. I don't know what else to say. It's all there. Netflix, I told you, 409, going down. You're already into the day at 400. I told you guys at 440. Literally been screaming this thing. Been screaming. Absolutely phenomenal, right? Now, ES, don't even get me started here. What have we been saying about ES? ES has been like holding up much better. And it's funny. You're hitting your exact targets that we had from yesterday. Again, SEC, don't shoot me. I'm just here for the people. I'm just here for the people. Can I get an amen? Got any religious folk here? Amen, buddy. So we look what's happening. What happened? Why did you start breaking down here? What happened? I've been telling you guys, Apple was the breaking. It was the tipping point, right? Apple yesterday, You got your first close below 177, right? First close. Easy. I told you, I said yesterday, I said, look, this is the easiest play out there. Apple, you want a free play? Apple. It doesn't fall far from the tree because this thing went tumbling, right? 174, one of your biggest drops on Apple since we had that big, massive drop back here. Sellers are stacking up. They're getting aggressive. Now, again, what about going forward? Some of the fundamental viewpoints here. DXY, the dollar, absolutely grotesque. Absolutely. The dollar descending triangle, false breakout back here mid-July. You just pump and you keep on pumping. These daily candles just are atrocious. You're mounting the 200 moving average on the daily. Very bullish sign for the dollar, bad for the economy. Now, a deeper dive. We look at yields. What's happening here? The 2-year, relaxed, chilling, a little bit of downside here on the day. Poquito, dare I say, but you're still very high. The 5-year pumping, the 10-year moving, the 30-year, they're all moving up. The 2 years just slowing down here. Overall, yields still look absolutely juiced. I mean, it's honestly looking like Ronnie Coleman at peak. Just taking all he can because it's absolutely juiced to be the biggest absolute monster that there is. So again, yields not looking good for the economy. Well, what about oil? What about crude? Oh, well, also not ideal. Like I've been saying, is crude will get impacted by Nasdaq and SPY. So when they dip, it makes sense that oil will pull back a little bit. But what you're seeing is a disconnect. I mean, in comparison, crude pullback, Nasdaq pullback. You can see, right? So if Nasdaq or the indexes get any type of bounce, crude's going to bounce. And I don't think crude's bottomed here. I think crude has had a short-term bottom with OPEC and things happening. I don't think it's topped out here. I'm sorry. So I do want to see, I'm interested to see where crude goes moving forward. If crude continues to move up, obviously the bearish thesis continues to go. But I'm going to tell you exactly how I'm trading and exactly what I'm trading in the lab. Now that we're back to our winning ways, now that we're back to, trading, they put me back in the big office, right? Back in the corner office. Can I get a whoop whoop? So we look at what's happened. How should we be approaching this, right? How am I approaching this? Now I'm going to give you some updates on Twitter. I'm going to keep you guys posted, give you little tips and tricks on Twitter. I try to keep you updated at all times. But right now, again, the focal point for me has been when I'm scalping. I'm taking profits. I got it. I got to scale, putting in and scale out immediately. Once my trade gets to about 1.5 R, meaning if I'm risking $100, I'm willing to make $100. That's 1 R. So if it's 2 R, that means I'm willing to risk $100 to make $200, and the math goes on, right? So once I get to about that 1.5, I start trimming immediately. Why? Because the price action hasn't necessarily been the greatest lately, meaning confirmation hasn't been there. But now we're getting some of that downside confirmation I've been talking about, right? This is what gets us excited, right? And so when I look at that action playing out, I'm still, I have some trust issues, right? That's the best way to say it. It's like me and my high school ex. I'm like, look, I know I'm good looking, but I don't trust you. I don't trust you. I know I'm a little bit too douchey, and you might get a little tired of it. So I don't trust you. So I'm looking at this action, and I don't necessarily trust it fully, right? So it means I'm still playing, favoring the downside because they're dominating right now, volume showing up as well, which is good. But I'm still being cautious here. Like something like Netflix, right? Netflix, I'm having some time on the contracts, but I'm not trying to swing those too long, right? I'm aware of the risk. I'm aware of the drop that we're getting, but I still don't have immense confidence because I think something crazy could be said and kind of get us a little bit of a dead cat from some of these levels, right? Like on Monday, we talked about the dead cat that was happening. Go watch the video. We called it a dead cat, and guess what? Dead cats eventually, they get shot again. They get hit by a car. God forbid, not your cat, but I'm just saying this cat, gone. So again, patience. Don't get too greedy during this downside, right? Understand the volatility. You want to take advantage of volatility. You get that quick drop, start scaling, start scaling. Remember, the name of the game is survival. It's not get rich quick, get my mansion tomorrow. No, it's inch by inch, brick by brick, survival. If someone knocks one of the bricks off, guess what? You just put 2 more up, right? That's the name of the game. Too many people on this platform, on YouTube, on Twitter, social media in general, are pushing this narrative. Oh, you're going to make $50,000 a day. No. 2%, 1%, 0.5%. The goal slowly over time. But at all times, you're being defensive to protect what you have. Protect that portfolio. And the goal here is to teach that protection and understanding how to protect yourself in any type of market, right? It's not a game. It's not gambling, right? It's having a strategy and sticking to it. Let's get back to it. I got some charts. I got some stats I need to show you. So a few people have actually been asking about like looking at some of the flow. So I'll show that first before I go over the names. But SPY, pretty terrible flow. You have some short dated September 15th. And I'm most interested right now in like September 15th contracts. If I'm looking to like, not necessarily day trade. Yeah. If I am looking to day trade or like hold maybe overnight for one night, September 15th has been like the contracts I've been liking the most. It's just, I still can make quite a bit on the volatile moves and they don't like hold as much risk. I haven't been trading weeklies, maybe even a week out like on a name like Tesla, but for the most part, September 15th is my favorite. So I like that those are coming into that date. We go into Qs. Yeah, I figure I haven't looked at this all day, but I already knew it was going to be happening. You're seeing the names start to flow on September 15th, short dated puts coming in. This is what I was talking about yesterday as well, or the day when we looked at flow. When we're looking at flow, I'm more interested in dates within 1 to 3 months, and then if they're near or at the money. Now, for instance, on Qs, these 375s, if you're a large position and you're looking to start establishing something and you're looking to trade it primarily, I would want to go in the money personally. And so these being deep in the money, they're about $20 in the money. This looks like more of a swing trade or opportunity to hedge their account. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now. So definitely interesting. You can even go down further. These 375s, it's most likely the same buyer buying these up. Makes logical sense. And they were just buying them basically all day long. So again, definitely not ideal, not good for the market. You can actually see. So this one was at 1044. And then also this one was at 1044. Mostly the same buyer. And then again, 239, same buyer. So stack it into that position. You can see heavily on puts all day long. Probably the most action we've had in a while. What's different from this time than previous dips that we've had as well is you're also seeing IWM falling with this. Previously, when we've seen rotations, we've seen Dow hold up, which the Dow is holding up decent right now, but the IWM has kind of stuck with the Dow or ES, right? But IWM, SPY, and NQ are all getting hit. So that tells me risk is kind of being taken off the table, right? You're seeing the dollar pump as well. So this is a risk off mentality. People don't want to have risk right now. How I'm interpreting this right now, based on, again, PPI, banks being threatened to have a downgrade, and then what's happening with DXY, oil, etc. It's kind of like a perfect storm for downside. And again, it's just playing out, right? So that's what's happening there. So favorite names, what am I looking at? Number one, still Netflix. I mean, this is still, the Mona Lisa of trade setups right now. I'm holding on to my desk with both sides. I'm like full wingspan. Like, my gosh, it's like when I saw Allie on that first date, and those titties were just out. And what can I say? I just wanted to get all up in there, but I didn't. So, anyways, I am all up in this one though. Netflix, absolutely loving it. Looks gorgeous. Head and shoulders playing out. I've been saying this since 440. And now you're below, and you got the confirmation below the 200 weekly SMA. You are looking for at least 396 for target number one, target number two, 375, 376. The measured move actually comes out to like 360, but again, just saying, take profits for you want. I don't really care. Next up, semiconductors. Dear God. Me and Jay have been talking about this. We have been talking about NVIDIA quite a bit. I wanted this thing to really do a Netflix for me, but it didn't. So I'm not going to consider this a head and shoulders. I'm just going to give you a for instance of where the shoulder should have been. You came up a little bit more. It's kind of ugly. So I'm not going to consider it. But we were saying if you got at 440 and got rejected right there, it would have been beautiful for a potential head and shoulders. People might still track it. Very interesting. I'm still bearish on NVIDIA going into earnings. After earnings, I think there's a possibility they go straight up, to be honest. I'm not going to lie to you. NVIDIA, I keep telling you guys, stop touching it. Be careful. But the rejections at 440 are gross. And then also your rejection from your level here, 433.8 at the end of the day, also disgusting. If you start to get back down below 430, again, you're just very illiquid based on your move that you just had. You literally went straight up. It was gross. This is your, dude, it really was an opportunity at the end of the day. I just didn't want to expose myself to more risk, or I would have called you out in Discord. But yeah, so I do think NVIDIA can get slapped all the way back down to like 412, possibly even 400. But again, it's really, it's a scary name to trade. It really is. Short-term target, 422, 419. And then after that, yeah, back down to the trenches. Again, that's what you're looking for there. But again, tight stops above like 434. If you start trending back here, I'd forget about it. Wouldn't want to touch it. Going into AVGO, this is probably one of the next big setup names that is out there. So I've been talking a lot about it. I mentioned in yesterday's video as well, the double top. You had the double top confirmation, and then you had even more confirmation throughout the day here. You had the confirmation low right there, the neckline there. You broke down, retested it today, pushing back down. You have to zoom out to really get a big picture here. If you break and hold below 820, that's what I've been waiting for with Jay. Semiconductor boys, you better pray. Because let me tell you, you have some support down to like 780, but there's no liquidity. There's nothing. You get into this little zone here. I call this the zone of death because that's where longs go to die. Yeah. So 820, you might start seeing people getting close or stopped out of positions. I also want to say right now, AVGO is one of the names that got marked up in the Nasdaq. If you remember when they did the rebalancing, AVGO went up in value of the Nasdaq. I think it went up like 1.2%, give or take. So that's when we saw some more buying happening here. So if this starts to drop, it's going to crush the Nasdaq. I'm going to tell you right now, going to crush it. Okay. NVIDIA got like dropped a few percent. AVGO went up a percent. So that's what's to, keep on notice there. How about Meta? Can I get a firm handshake? Hey, nice to meet you. The name's Tyler Perman Make Money Wilson. So we look what happened here. I mentioned this very clearly. You go to the daily chart. This is a 4-hour, but you can see this is your 4-hour wick right here. 316.5. Did we catch it? Of course I caught it. I shoot the shot. I missed it. Psych. I swished it. So we look what happened. Easy money sniper rejecting off of 322, straight down to the trenches. Previous lows there. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, gorgeous. It took a little bit longer than we wanted, but VWAP slap there. It was good. God's plan. What can I say? If you get below 316.5, I just don't think you will right now. You could. I just want to give you guys an update on this trade. The next target, though, it's hard. It's hard here. Because you have some support there at 312, and then locally it's like 312. 312 is your next target on Microsoft, but I'm not a fan of trading it. Big thing I would be looking at is banks in particular here. They're getting crushed, XLF. Just like we saw XLF when it broke out to the upside, we started to see, the market really getting all the love. I said, hey, look, ES, Nasdaq, I remember ES at 4,200. I said, look, you start to get that breakout. You start to get that push on XLF and banks, those weak sectors. Guess what's going to happen? ES and Nasdaq, they're going to rock it. Well, those same sectors that took off finally are now retracing all the way back because the same issues are arising. So again, JP Morgan looking for the 143.9 test. That's where you're looking for down here. Keep it on your radar. That's the next level you're looking to test. For all you bank boys, I know a lot of you guys are looking for banks, maybe a VWAP slap for entry, but you're going to see continued weakness here on banks, Goldman Sachs as well. All going to be very weak. I mean, Goldman Sachs, if you really look here like on the daily, it's not ideal. You have this like trend line right here, but I'd really be looking for that test of the 200 weekly as well there. But you have like trend line, you can vaguely, it's like snapping on. Yeah, right there. So probably looking for a test like 317.8, 318 roughly in that range. That's where you're looking. I would be willing to bet it's going to slap it very soon. A lot of names I usually don't mention are coming in today, but yeah. So those are names I'm watching, and I'll give you one last one. AMD, I'm looking for 100. I'm going to tell you right now. 100, 102, 102, 100, both next two levels. Keep on your watch. Let's keep watching. Those are my favorite names. If you have questions, comment down below. If you made money today, hey, I don't want to say you're welcome because guess what? You put in the work, okay? I really want this to hammer home for the rest of the year. You got to put in work. You got to chart. You got to be in the market. You got to be obsessed with this. You got to be crushing it. You got to be all in, okay? You have to understand that. Everybody and their mom wants to day trade. They want to trade Forex. They want to trade futures. They want to trade commodities. They want to trade options. They just want to get rich quick, right? But nobody wants to be obsessed. Nobody wants to get rid of friends. Nobody wants to cut out having fun on the weekends. Nobody wants to, spend every waking moment that they have free when they're not at their main job looking at charts, understanding the difference, understanding what's happening on the calendar, being consumed with it. Because at the end of the day, I'm sorry, but that's what it takes. And this is a real moment for me to you. I had to come to it. Jay had to come to it. But at the end of the day, it's got to be your focus. It's got to be everything. It's got to be the number one. If you want to fucking be successful, if you want to take over, if you want to dominate, if you want to actually see progress, you're going to have to start being serious for yourself. That's the real moment for today. Have a good one, traders.